Sing praise, sing praise. Forever God is faithful, forever God is strong, forever God is with us, forever, forever faithful. Forever God is faithful, forever God is strong. Forever God is with us, forever, forever, forever. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning, and welcome to Seattle Unity, both in-house and at home. And let's turn to our prayer for the future. Let's just affirm it together. Divine love flows through Seattle Unity. As our congregation grows, we are blessed with deep and lasting friendships. We share creative ideas that spark new ways of being. We give generously from a place of abundance, and we are empowered to do good in the world. Can I get an amen? All right, so for those watching at home, please type in your name, maybe where you're watching from. And I'd like to know, is there anybody with us for the very first time? Is this your first Sunday? Can you raise your hand so we can acknowledge you and say hello? I don't see anybody. Yes. Where? Anybody from out of town? I can't. I can't see. Hello. We invite you to come back at least 3 times. Are you visiting from out of town or a Seattleite?
I was here before at the old. This is my first time in this building.
First time to the... Welcome back. Thank you. Over here, who's there? From Seattle? Where do you live? What part of town? We're going to stop by. No. Sorry. Thank you for being with us. So we have a meditation at 9 a.m. I don't know how many of you know that, but it's a very centering thing to do. I've been talking to the participants of it, and it's downstairs on the first floor in the focus room. So we encourage you to come. It's a wonderful way to get centered. It's at 9 a.m. every Sunday. Also want to let you know that following the service at 11:30, we are having a board nominee Q&A. So for those interested in serving on the board, we do have applications in the at the front desk, and we'll be meeting for about 45 minutes to answer any questions that you may have about board service. And the board will be there, and nominees will be there. So before I introduce our board for the Taste of Tuscany, is Louise in the room? I didn't see Louise Carnahan. So I just want to thank our board and Louise Carnahan because they spent this last... There's Louise Carnahan coming in. Hello. Louise came from Oregon this weekend to lead us in a strategic planning meeting on Friday and Saturday. And I know that sounds really boring, but we actually had a good time. So we've planned out up for till 2023. No, this is going backwards. 3 years in advance. Enough said. Okay, and here's our Board of Trustees. Next to me.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno. You know, we Italians, we've given great gifts to civilizations, to the whole world. Great gifts such as beautiful music. We've given you a dramatic history.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, Sicilians. Lend us your ears.
We've given you great food.
Spaghetti, rigatoni, cannelloni, or anything ending in an I.
Of course, we in Italy, we are the home of beautiful places.
There's nothing like the warm, sunny beaches of the Italian Mediterranean coast.
Of course, we've given you one of the world's most beautiful languages.
Ciao, ciao bella, arrivederci, Chef Boyardee.
And as you all know, we've given the world great automobiles.
Ferrari, Lamborghini, Fiat.
But on Saturday, November 16th, these amazing quasi-Italians, who also happen to serve as your board of trustees, along with dozens of wonderful volunteers, we're going to present a Taste of Tuscany. Taste of Tuscany. The taste treat is a way for the board to express its great appreciation for our entire community's generosity and support throughout this year, and in anticipation and gratitude for our end-of-the-year fundraising drive.
Yes, the Taste of Tuscany, featuring wonderful food, wine, dessert, along with a great DJ, if any of you heard it last year, and dancing, and a silent auction featuring personalized bid items from your board, including a hot air balloon ride, jewelry, baseball tickets, a night of bunco, astrological readings, and we just had a donation of a brand new one right before. If you want to go see the new aquarium exhibit. Ooh, a few more things. So you can have this fine gift of Italy for just $30. And kids under 12 are free. I almost said 30. We're not going to do that. Under 12 are free. Buy your tickets online at seattleunity.org/tickets.
So, help us fill this table at the Taste of Tuscany. So go online and buy your tickets at seattleunity.org/tickets. We will see you on Taste of Tuscany for fun, frolic, a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
So we're seeing an alter ego of George, our board president. So again, you can get your tickets online, and please join us. We're going to have a lot of fun. So one more announcement, and that is that there is a bake sale that's happening in the lobby right outside, and those funds are used to send our kids to it's not kids camp, but it's a children's event like Uniteens YOU, and anyway, we need your generosity. So please give generously whether you buy something or not. That said, let's go to our chat prompt for those at home. Do certain seasons feel more spiritual to you than others? All right, and that said, let's all stand and greet one another.
stay standing as you are able. We're going to do another singing, easy sing-along together. This is really it's just designed to let you get your spine moving a little bit. It's real easy. It goes like this. Don't you know that I am blessed? 'Cause I'm moving in the spirit. Try that. Don't you know that I am blessed? 'Cause I'm moving in the spirit. Now a little back and forth. Yes, I'm moving in the spirit. Moving in the spirit. Moving in the spirit. Moving in the spirit. Moving in the one eternal love. I am blessed. All right, let's try that all together and give it some movement. Don't you know that I am blessed? 'Cause I'm moving in the spirit. Don't you know that I am blessed? So blessed. 'Cause I'm moving in the spirit. Now back and forth. Yes, I'm moving in the spirit. Moving in the spirit. Moving in the spirit. Moving in the spirit. Moving in the one eternal love. I am blessed. All right, let's change it to singing in the spirit. Ready? Don't you know that I am blessed? 'Cause I'm singing. 'Cause I'm singing in the spirit. Don't you know that I am blessed? So blessed. 'Cause I'm singing in the spirit. Here we go. Yes, I'm singing in the spirit. Singing in the spirit. Yes, I'm singing in the spirit. Singing in the spirit. Singing in the one eternal love. I am blessed. Let's do a little dance break and listen to this band get their Santana on. Let's do I See You in the Spirit. So you're going to sing this, Don't You Know That I Am Blessed, and then you're going to actually turn and see another human. Introverts, I'm real sorry. I'm not, you're right. Don't you know that I am blessed? 'Cause I see you. 'Cause I see you in the Spirit. Try somebody else. Don't you know that I am blessed? Yes, yes. 'Cause I see you in the Spirit. All right, everybody, every time. See you in the Spirit. 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 See you in the one eternal love. I am blessed. Just I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. Oh, I like that. I am blessed. Try that scoop. I am blessed. Two more. I am blessed. Now we're ending. I am blessed. Sweet. Please be seated. That whole part of the service sort of shakes our sillies out. Not totally. Never totally. But we are about to enter a more contemplative part of our service. And in the center of that spot of the service is going to be a silent meditation that we share together. So I encourage you to take off any outerwear, become comfortable in your chairs so that we can share that space easily together. But our first step into this more contemplative space comes through a reading from our community member, Lucas Olson. Lucas.
Hello. Good morning. I will be reading Find Your Quiet in the Storm by Etheric Echoes. Some days the world feels too sharp, too loud, too raw to touch. Headlines scream, phones ring, and chaos dances at our doorstep. But I've learned to find sanctuary in small moments of grace. The way sunlight paints shadows on walls, how wind whispers through leaves, the steady rhythm of my own breath when I remember to just breathe. I've learned to turn off the noise, to silence the endless chatter, to find strength in gentle things. A cup of coffee at dawn, a moment of kindness between strangers, and the quiet courage of growing things. They say the world's gone mad, but perhaps the secret is knowing when to step away from the storm, when to guard your peace like gold, when to let your heart be still in a world that never stops spinning. For in this rush of endless moments, we must remember to be gentle with ourselves, with each other, to find beauty in broken places, to create spaces of quiet wonder in corners of our own making. This is how we stay whole, not by hardening our hearts, but by knowing when to soften, when to rest, when to breathe, when to let the world's noise fade into the background of our being. Thank you.
Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things. Let go, let be, and receive the Spirit in all things.
Here we all are, gathered together in this place. Why are we here? What is our purpose? Spirit, reveal. How do we know what's true and what's real? We may not know where life's road will lead, but it doesn't matter as long as we believe that God is the answer. God is the answer. God is the answer to whatever the question may be. What's going on in this world today? Where do we fit? What can we do to make a difference? What can we say? Where do we go? Is it this way or that way? If we pray and truly believe and love one another and have courage, don't you see that God is the answer? God is the answer. God is the answer to whatever the question may be. We may not know where life's road will lead, but it doesn't matter, no, no. God is the answer. God is the answer. Fear not, little flock, because God is the answer. It may feel heavy right now, but God is the answer. There's a lot of mental little crazies going on in our heads. God is the answer. Claim your peace. Claim your joy. Claim your courage. Claim your knowing, intelligence, your guidance, your freedom, your being. For we live and move, we live and move, we live and move in the government of a spirit. We live and move in a government of spirit. God is the answer. God is the answer. So the thing about fear, it makes you stupid. It makes you forgetful. It makes you lose track. It makes you feel like a victim. It makes you feel like you don't have any choices. Stay in your power, 'cause God is the answer. It's who you are, 'cause God is the answer. God is the answer. God is the answer. Right God is the answer.
God is the
We
answer.
shall overcome.
God is the answer.
We shall overcome.
God is the
We shall overcome. God is the answer.
Lavon Hardison.
Yay!
I think we can go home now. Thank you. So we're at a very important time in the history of our country, wouldn't you say? And so this coming election is going to determine the fate of our country. And so far, 44 million Americans have already voted. So that's great. And I think we're fortunate to live in the state of Washington where we get to mail in our ballot. A friend of mine in Kansas City posted on Facebook yesterday that he waited 5.5 hours in line to vote. I didn't even know that that was still a thing, but I am so grateful that we get to fill out our thing and put it in. So if you haven't voted, you still have a few days to do so. Please do. And depending on the poll that you listen to, some say Trump is ahead and others say it's Harris. Still other polls are saying that it is a dead heat. So to say that there's tension in the country and around the world right now would be a vast understatement. But whatever the results, half the country is going to be joyful and the other half is going to be angry. So our spiritual practice then is how we maintain a state of equilibrium during the next few weeks, because we may not know the results for a while. So if you find yourself losing your mind, then I invite you to step away from the news and take a walk. Do something nurturing for yourself, like to ground yourself in your body, go to the spa, take a bath, cook a nice meal, watch a puppy video, play with your dog, or a kitty video. So when I was preparing this talk, there were two stories from Scripture that came to mind that I believe give us guidance and wisdom about how to handle times like these. And both these stories are from the book of Mark. One is from Mark and one is from Matthew. So in the book of Mark, Jesus is teaching the crowds, and then afterwards, he and the disciples get in their boat and they decide to go across the lake. So Jesus, because he'd been teaching, was tired, and he fell asleep in the stern of the boat. And while he was sleeping, a storm picked up, and it was a pretty heavy squall. It was a pretty heavy storm. And so waves started pouring over the side of the boat, and it started to fill up with water, so it looked like it was going to go down. So the disciples had to go and wake up Jesus, and they said, "Hey, don't you care if we drown?" And so Jesus wakes up, and he looks out at the sea, looks out at the winds, he looks out at the storm, and he rebukes the wind, and he says to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. So now in Unity, we look at these stories in Scripture metaphysically. And whenever we see Jesus in the story, he represents that Spirit of God within us. He represents the Spirit of Christ, or the divine, that dwells within us. And it is that part of us that can see beyond temporary situations. Emily Cady in Lessons in Truth said it this way. She said, "There is nothing that can hurt me or make me sick or afraid, because greater is that Spirit that is within me than anything that is out in the world." So the waves, metaphysically, and the storm symbolize our emotions. Yep, they're all stirred up. And the circumstances and challenges of life. And so when we're out of touch with the Spirit of God, when we're out of touch with that presence, and storms of life arise, we can get tossed about and we can feel like we're drowning. We can feel alone and overwhelmed by our emotions because it appears that the Christ is asleep. It appears that the Spirit of God within us is asleep. So we need to wake it up. And how do we wake it up? We wake it up through our breath. We wake it up through being mindful. We wake it up by loving kindness and compassion. We wake it up through our spiritual practice. And when we wake it up, we can say to these emotions, we can say to the turmoil that's in the world, peace, be still, be quiet. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, I invite you to take a deep breath, and wake up that part of you that is bigger than your body, that is bigger than any outer situation, and say to it, peace, be still. So the second story is very similar, and it takes place in the book of Matthew. Now, in this story, Jesus is teaching the crowds, and he tells the disciples, why don't you guys get on the boat, just go across the lake. I'm going to head up to the mountains, and I'm going to pray for a while. So he goes up to the mountains. He does his spiritual practice. He does his prayers. And by dawn, he decides probably time to join the disciples. Well, they're already like halfway out there. So he walks on water, and he's walking out to the boat. Now, remember, we're going to metaphysically interpret this. So the logical mind is like going, now, wait a minute. So Jesus he walks out on the water, and the disciples see him coming, and they think he's a ghost. And Peter, and he calls out that it's him, but Peter says to him, if it's really you, then tell me to come out onto the water. I always see Peter as the Aries, because he just jumps into things without thinking. But he represents faith. He's the metaphysical 12th power of faith. He says, if it's really you, then tell me to come out on the water. And Jesus says, come. So Peter gets out of the boat. He starts walking on the water, and he's keeping his eye on Jesus as he's walking. He's keeping eye on the Christ, on the divine. And then all of a sudden, he realizes what he's doing. He's like, wait a minute, I'm walking on the water. And he notices the wind and the waves and the storm, and he immediately starts to sink. As soon as he takes his eye off the ball, off the Christ, off the God, he immediately starts to sink, and he says, save me. And Jesus reaches out his hand, catches him, and says, you of little faith, why did you doubt? So again, let us metaphysically interpret this story. So if Jesus represents the Christ or the Spirit, Jesus represents the Christ or the Spirit of divine within, Peter represents faith. And the sea, again, represents our emotions or the turbulence that may be in the world. And in this account, Peter, or the power of faith, is called to step out of his comfort zone and venture into the unknown. And at first, he's just fine because, again, he's keeping his eye on that Spirit. But when he stops and he looks at the world and he looks at the waves, he loses it and he starts to drown. So when we take our eyes off of God, of knowing that a higher purpose is out working, we begin to sink. But when we put our faith in outer appearances instead of the Spirit within, then we rise above it. So this metaphor continues with the words of Clarissa Pinkola Estes, and I'm sure many of you know this piece, but it's called Do Not Lose Heart, because we were made for these times. And she uses the same symbology of that of a boat and storms. She said there's a tendency to veer toward fainting over how much is wrong or unmended in the world. Do not focus on that. Do not make yourself ill with overwhelm. One of the most important steps you can take to help calm the storm is to not allow yourself to be taken in a flurry of overwrought emotion or despair. It just sounds like the story we just heard, right? Because when we do this, we accidentally contribute to the swale and the swirl that's happening in the world. Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. So if you would calm the tumult, this is one of the strongest things you can do. Hear me again. If you would help to calm the tumult, this is one of the strongest things you can do. Find peace within yourself. She said, I too have felt despair many times in my life, but I don't keep a chair for it. I will not entertain it, and it is not allowed to eat from my plate. So she does not invite it in. She said, do not spend your spirit dry by bewailing these difficult times. The fact is, we were made for these times. Do you believe it? You were made for this time. The truth is that there is a groundswell that will not be stopped. And I have seen women particularly come together in ways that I have never seen before, and I believe it's time for their voices to be heard. I have been inspired when I watch clips of Taylor Swift's concerts, mainly because not only are they sold out, as many concerts are with 60, 70,000 people, but it looks to me like 90 or 95% are women. So it's mothers with their daughters and sisters and friends singing together, just all coming together. And I've never seen that. I've never seen women, girls just coming together and singing together. And so it feels like there's this movement that's happening. A group of us took a field trip to Recompose last week, which is the composting of bodies. It's a way to look at the end of life differently, and Jan Campbell turned us on to that. Thank you, Jan. But it was envisioned by women. By Katrina Spade. She said she and her partner were filling out a form for their kids, like, the will, like what happens when you go. And then it was like, there's the box you got to check. What do you do with your body? Do you bury it? Do you cremate it? What do you do? And she's like, none of the above. I don't want to do any of this. We want to do something different. And so she looked at how our large farm animals, how are they handled at the end of their lives? And so she's created this whole system of composting the body at the end of life. And it was really beautiful. It was so different because the funeral directors were dressed like park rangers instead of like funeral directors. They're wearing green, with little little vests and but it was very loving, it was very caring, and it was just so revolutionary and transformative and environmentally sound and friendly. So again, she was like, well, and so people are coming from Sweden and Korea to learn how to do this. So again, I'm just giving a shout out for women. So this year, we have been leaning on our ancestors for wisdom to carry us through times such as these. And Teilhard de Chardin, a Jesuit priest, had a visionary perspective that continues today because he believed that humanity is evolving toward a higher level of consciousness and unity with the divine. In a similarity, Lao Tzu said, do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises in itself? So then we go back to our spiritual practice. So one of the ways that we calm the storms is through the process of meditation. And I think that it is important that we ground ourselves right now. It's like Pinkola Estes said, is, you just add to the trauma if you're not settled yourself. So I would like for us, because we're practical, we're practical Christianity, practical Buddhism, practical Hinduism. We like to practice what we're teaching. So we're going to do a little meditation practice. And it's going to be a walking. And I know there's a lot of people here, but there's also a lot of space. And so right now, I'm going to invite you to stand up and just spread out a little bit. We're going to do a slow walking meditation. I will guide you through it. So right now, what I'd like you to do, and also if you're not able to, then please stay seated. And if you're an extreme introvert, just stay seated and watch your breath. For those of you at home, you can join us in the walking, and or you can sit and watch your breath. So, right now I invite you to feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. Take a deep breath and bring the breath in up through your feet, through your legs, all the way up through the top of your head. And exhale. And then breathe in through your solar plexus, your seat of power and centeredness, waking up the Christ, waking up the divine. So I invite you to feel your feet inside your shoes and just sort of sway with them a little bit back and forth. For we are one, and we believe in oneness, not separation. We are not two countries, we are one country. And the outer appearance that we are divided and separate is but an appearance, because every single being has the Spirit of God, the divine presence, the Christ within. If you feel like that presence in you is asleep, wake it up. Breathe deeply. So in a moment, I'm going to invite you to just simply walk where you are led, again, being mindful of the people around you. And when you come to someone, because we're moving beyond separation and into oneness, I invite you, if you're so able and willing, to look at the person in front of you, to see beyond the outer appearance into the soul, and just gently bow. It doesn't matter if you do one person or 10. So in this mindfulness, again, I invite you, take a deep breath. Allow the presence of God to see through your eyes. Allow the presence of God to wake up, to see beyond outer appearances and into the soul of others. And when you are ready, I invite you to start moving around the room. And stop and bow when you feel guided. Being mindful, being grounded, take your time, move slow. And I invite you to slowly make your way back toward where you started. Good morning. And taking this energy into your heart and just holding those that you connected with, that you saw beyond that outer appearance into the soul. There is no separation. We are one with all beings. So as we continue in this meditative state, I invite you to bring someone into your mind's eye that you disagree with, perhaps somebody on the other side, and bring that person into your mind's eye right now. And I invite you to see the soul, the Spirit of God, the Christ. And we say, may you be free from danger. May you have mental happiness. May you have physical happiness. And may you have ease of well-being. And let us say this right now for our whole country together. May you be free from danger. May you have mental happiness. May you have physical happiness. And may you have ease of well-being. And for this awareness, we are truly grateful. So as we stand on the edge of this historical turning point, let us trust in the evolutionary pull toward love. In these days leading up to the election, it's easy to be swept up by fear and separation. Yet there is a path that calls us to rise above the waves. We walk with the wisdom of the ages, with the wisdom of the scriptures, from our ancestors, from our teachers such as Teilhard de Chardin and Clarissa Pinkola Estes, because when we still the storm within, we find that we have the power to calm the storm around us as well. And like Peter, let us call on our faith to carry us when it feels like the world might be pulling us under. As Lao Tzu said, let us wait until the mud settles, knowing that clarity will arise. So we engage with a sense of peace, centered in the divine and grounded in love for all beings. And may we remember that we are interconnected, and may our collective spirit continue to lead us forward beyond division and fear into the future that reflects the oneness of all beings. Happy Election Day. Just a reminder that there is a board Q&A downstairs on the first floor following the service for those interested. Okay, so now we're going to turn to our offering, and so I invite you to give generously to this moment, whether you give by check or cash or the text to give number, which can go up on the screen or through the website. And we invite those of you watching from home to also give generously to support this ministry. It really helps us. So however you give, know how grateful we are, and let's affirm it together. I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is the constant source of my supply. I give with graciousness and receive with gratitude. Yeah.
I'm taking my freedom, I'm pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wearing it around my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car. Wherever I choose to go, it will take me very far. I'm living the life like it's golden, living my 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 life like it's golden, golden. Taking my freedom, I'm putting it in my song, singing it loud and strong, grooving all day long. Taking my freedom, I'm putting it in my straw. I'll be high stepping, y'all, letting my joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life holding on to my freedom, can't take that away from me. I was born with it, you know, it comes kind of naturally. I'm strumming my own freedom, playing the God in me, representing his glory. You know, I know he's proud of me. I'm living my life like my life. I'm living my life. I'm living my life like it's golden. Living my life. I'm living my life. I'm living my life like it's living my life like it's golden. Yes, I'm living my life. Yes, I'm living my life. Yeah. Yes, I'm living my life like it's golden, golden. Living my life. Living my life. Living my life. Living my life like it's golden. So this is just another way of saying I'm living like it actually is. So I'm living my life like it's prosperous. I'm living my life like it's healthy. I'm living my life like it's groovy. I'm living my life like it's bright. I'm living my life like it's orderly. I'm living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden. I'm a living my life like it's golden. 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 Golden.
Lavon Hardison. Hey, y'all, before we move on, she has a Patreon. We can be part of this. We can be part of this. A Patreon means, for those of you who are, not accustomed to that, people don't sell merch anymore. We're out looking for subscriptions. So a Patreon means you become an ongoing connection to this woman.
So I'm going to invite our chaplains who are on duty to come stand up here with me. That would be Louis and Melissa. All right. So before we pray, I'd like to say hello to MJ in Greenwood and Lauren from Seattle, who's new watching. Tammy, Lee, Jack and Shiloh, Guillermo, Colleen, Diane, Marcia, Casey, Kelsey, Frank, Bridget, hi Bridget, Tracy and Margaret in Corvallis. So let's take a moment as we put a final blessing on our offering and then do our prayers. So I invite you to hold your gift in your heart that was given. And we dedicate and we consecrate these gifts to the will, the work, and the way of the living Spirit of truth. And may the gift that you gave return to you a millionfold in expected and unexpected ways. And so we take a breath and we focus and send our prayers right now to Jack and Shiloh, to Diane, to Marcia, Tammy, to Casey and Kelsey, to Frank, to Bridget, to Tracy, to Adrian, to the March family as they help their mother make her transition, for Scott, for Hawk, who's at Children's Hospital, Anks, Kelly, David, Steve, Shirley, Rick, Billy, Bob, and Susan, our election process, Israel, Gaza, the Ukraine, Russia, Iran, and anyone in any other place that you wish to bless. Please speak these names now. And so we join in our prayer for protection, including Sabrina, together. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And that is the truth. Let's sing a closing song together. If you want to hold hands, you can, but it's also always okay to say, no thanks, not today. You don't even have to give a reason. We're going to do Karen Drucker's setting of that meditation, of that loving kindness blessing. We start with, may I. It's easy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well, may I be peaceful and at ease, and may I be happy. Now we say, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well, may you be peaceful and at ease, and may you and now, may we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. Now let's lift it up for may all.